We believe the narrative of being a woman who is her own boss is a special type of journey that deserves more visibility in today's society. The problems and struggles we face can and should be faced together. We found each other through our shared journeys that resilience is the only answer to fulfilling dreams and callings on our lives. FlyGirls is an intimate look into the creative hustle through the stories of women who are dope, determined, optimistic, passionate, energized. We decided to share the power of creativity to empower the world and ourselves. It's time for you to join us. Find a community dedicated to helping you embrace your dopeness. You deserve the right to dream big, design your success, and trust your passion. Welcome. You are the pilot of your own destiny. You are a fly girl, and you believe in what you dream. Welcome to FlyGirls. I am your pilot, S.LadyBug, and just as a reminder, FlyGirls is an intimate look into the creative hustle of beautiful women who are educated, successful, spirited, and independent. And today I will be co-piloting with the lovely Toni Lang.
Hello.
Hey, girl.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
So just to dive right in, so all of the audience and everyone who's watching knows who you are, please tell us all about you. I mean, we know you're Toni Lang, but, you know, where are you from?
I'm from Washington. Well, I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. I moved to DC a little after graduation from college. Lived there for 13 years, was tired of the hustle, bustle, type A personalities, and I decided to take a dive into moving to San Francisco, to the Bay Area. So here I am.
And so tell us a little bit about your brand.
So Tailored Rebels is a brand that is for people that just like to step outside of the box. You know, that are more creatives, but don't want to fit into the molds or stereotypes or labels or anything that people have placed upon them. It's just, we are the rebels of fashion, of our creative niches, things of that nature.
So what kind of pieces do you do?
So for us, right now we're a small boutique style. We do t-shirts right now, t-shirts and small apparel. So we've done hats, we've done pins. But right now, our focus is just building our brand back up on the West Coast.
Gotcha. And so what kind of things have led you into wanting to do this, you know, going after these messages? It sounds like you're doing t-shirts with messages.
So they are messages, a lot of positive reinforcement. We get some of our things from song lyrics, like, you know, don't quit your daydream, things fall apart. Ain't no need to question the authority, things like that. Those are things that we've done. So one of the things that took us to doing a t-shirt line was, you know, you go into Urban Outfitters or a different department store, right? And everything is so cookie cutter. Everything is mass produced. And so it's nothing, right. So it's nothing like wanting to go out to a club and wearing a dope t-shirt, but then you see 2 or 3 other people with the same shirt, whether it's the same day, a couple days later. So we do small quantities. That way it stays very exclusive to our clients. And they feel like I have something, not to say better or more than someone else, but just the exclusivity. Because that's what we want to get back into or push a little bit more. And so what kind of events actually led you into going after just really pursuing this to, you know, utilize your creativity to empower the world? So one of the things that happened, obviously with us seeing that it's so cookie cutter, was we decided to do a Fuck Cancer campaign. And with doing the Fuck Cancer campaign, it was a good friend's sister had terminal cancer, and we decided to donate a small portion, a portion of our proceeds of the shirt to we donated to the trust fund of her daughter. Gotcha. So each year we do a different design, and then we also donate to a young child that's battling cancer. So we've kind of switched how we donate the funds, like the structure. We kind of switched it. Instead of donating to an adult, we donate to children. Gotcha. There's, you know, as an adult, most people have insurance, whereas with children, I mean, they want to still feel like they have some normalcy in life. So those, even though it's not $1 million, it's still funds that are given to this young child so their parents can take them to the movies or do something for them specifically.
Right, gotcha. So how long have you been on that journey?
Since we had launched in 2012.
Okay.
So we started 6 years. Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
6 years. So it's cool to have each year, you know, we have a different design. We've gotten away because it started as breast cancer, but there are different types of cancers.
Absolutely.
And there's different colors, like breast cancer is pink, brain cancer is gray, leukemia is yellow. So we've tried to do it a little bit where we're just sticking to white ink or black ink. So that way it's more inclusive of the different types of cancers.
Gotcha. And so like, I guess now kind of like moving into this whole realm of like you even just making the decision one day that you wanted to start this, you know, what kind of things that you walk into as far as like, you know, your own personal journey, saying, oh, should I do this? Should I not do this? Was it, you know, I'm doing this and I know this is exactly what I wanted to look like? Were there any kind of like misconceptions after you made this decision and start moving forward that you would like to speak on?
So it was a little bit of a different, not necessarily me just saying, oh, I want to do this. It's just, I've always been attached to fashion, my own creativity, styling, and, you know, cutting up clothes of my own. I came up with the name Tailored Rebels for something else, was kind of sitting on it, and my former partner was just like, hey, I think we should do t-shirts. You know, I'll be the designer and you could do the business and the fashion aspect of it. So that's kind of how Tailored Rebels as a brand evolved.
Right.
Was sort of by accident.
Yeah.
And I just grew to love it. I didn't think that I would get into t-shirts. I thought that I would get into something. As a young child, I always played store with clothes with my dolls and my old Apple Macintosh computer.
The one with the big back that was super cute.
Right.
With the colors.
And your floppy disk. So I would always cut out, like, I would cut little pieces of paper and that would be like my hang tag and pricing and things like that. So it was always fun, but I never knew that that would manifest into me actually having my own brand.
Right.
So
what are the things that makes your brand different from any other t-shirt brand out there? Because we know it's a million, and you know, fast fashion has it very hard for people like you and I, because if we're putting out, you know, 20 pieces, they can output 1,000, and it's just like, what's going to make someone want to come to you?
So we don't do anything that, we try to stick with designs that are original versus designs that everyone else has done. So I do a lot of research on like Google search engines, Pinterest, kind of going to different locations to see what they have, what's on the market. We actually do legit typography where I have someone that's hand drawing, whereas a lot of big businesses and fast fashion, they're actually using like wingdings and things like that, and they're selling these t-shirts for $500.
Right.
So we're giving you like a legit design, we're giving you that quality because we're printing on American apparel. It's based in, you know, it's made in the US, things like that. So we're not fast fashion. We're something that I'm still wearing my shirts from when we launched in 2012 and it's now 2018.
Right.
So that's really important to me, is to have something with longevity and not just something that's trendy. So we're not a trendy brand and we're not a fast fashion brand either.
Right. You kind of touched a little bit on having a partnership and a former partnership. What are some of the things that you can tell people who may be on this journey right now, maybe starting their own clothing line, maybe starting just a business, who are thinking about having a partner? What would you tell them as far as things that you learned in your own personal situation?
Don't do it. No, just kidding. No, partnerships can be a beautiful thing. I do believe my partnership started off as something that was really cool. However, I believe our creative differences just took us in different ways. It started off as like, let's see how this goes. And then Tailored Rebels took another turn and was moving a lot faster. And my partner was somebody that he's married. At the time, he had 2 children. So that was another factor into working a full-time job. Now you have a family, and then you have this brand that you're trying to build.
Right.
So I think I was ready to just move as a single woman. I just wanted to move and get things done, where it was just, he would get to things when he wanted to get to things. And I'm not saying that that was anything negative, but just, you know, you have to prioritize your family and your home life first. So with partnerships, I just think it's a little bit, you just have to be honest and realistic about what your expectations are of one another.
Right.
What direction do you see? Have a legit plan of action of who's going to do what things? Are you going to be more of the business side person, whereas this person is going to be the face of the brand? Just have a solid plan of action. It doesn't mean that it can't change. It could totally change as you move, as time evolves. However, just be realistic. You can't just say, oh, this is my partner. Just have like a legit conversation and try to take, if you are friends with this person, to take the friendship out of the equation and deal with them on a business level.
Absolutely.
You know, hey girl, that's cool when you first get together, but then just take all that and push it to the side. And if you can't, then that's not the partner for you.
Exactly. So speaking of women in leadership and taking on the role of being like single and just going after it, what's your views on women in business and leadership positions?
There's not enough of us. It just isn't. I just feel like, you know, we birthed this nation. Let's be realistic. And we're not at the forefront. I mean, we're not getting paid the same rates. We're not holding the same offices. I mean, in just recent news with Dr. Ford coming forward with her sexual assaults with Kavanaugh, like, look at how, I'm not sure if you saw that, but just how he behaved as a man. Just very emotional. And he's getting kind of a slap on the back and a rub on the head with his behavior. But had she behaved that way, it would have been, she's not telling the truth.
Right.
It's just unfortunate as a woman, like, not to say that we're smarter or we're better, but if we are smarter in this situation, or if we are better in this situation, why are they so quick to put men first? That's not fair. It's not fair for us as women.
No, I'm in agreement. I mean, I asked the question obviously because I have a view on it. And I just feel as if one of the reasons why I started even the concept of FlyGirls is being able to have a narrative to share. Because for whatever reason, like whether we're identified either way, like if we're a woman of color, if we're a professional woman, we're educated, there's this concept throws us all in a box, and we have our own personal journeys and our own personal stories.
Right.
And so for me, knowing that you have this t-shirt brand and you are, you know, motivated and encouraged enough to take steps to even keep continuing your brand for 6 years, people need to know that.
Right.
You know, and people need to hear the story behind how you've been able to motivate your steps to keep moving. You know, and like, absolutely it's women in leadership, because absolutely we don't have a whole lot that we see. And absolutely we have to be in that position where we can be that person that we would want to see, because that's how we get motivated. And so just before we go into a break, just one last question. If you had an opportunity to give a message to any of our viewers who are listening, whether they're young or old, what would you tell them who are kind of going in this journey that you're in currently?
I would say stay focused. Stay focused, stay motivated, find your voice in your journey. Whatever, if it doesn't have to be anything loud and boisterous, but just find your way. Find what works best for you. Don't let anyone tell you that you cannot do this, because you can. Right.
And there you have it. And on that note, we are going to take a break. And when we return, we'll be back here with FlyGirls. I'm your pilot, S.LadyBug. See you soon. Thank you for supporting FlyGirls. We are mobilizing the stories of dope women around the world. Wouldn't you like the opportunity to introduce your brand to our listeners? Become a sponsor today. And together, we can share the power of creativity to empower the world. And we are back with FlyGirls. I am your pilot, S.LadyBug, and I am co-piloting it up with Toni Lang today. Hello. And we are moving into our segment that I like to call Getting Our Roll On. And Toni, you're probably like, what is Getting Our Roll? Yeah. Like, everybody get your roll on. So exactly. So we're going to be making yarn balls. So, by me being a crocheter, if you would have told me when I was 12 years old that having yarn and a hook would kind of be like my life savior, I wouldn't have believed you, but now it's totally my thing. So, when people are kind of trying to like download from their day, or you just had like a interesting conversation with somebody and it's just like, ooh, I don't want to carry this energy. For me, I make yarn balls. And making yarn balls is not only therapeutic, but it's also something that's helpful for my business, just because if I'm making something, having a yarn ball actually is more conducive to the work versus trying to like find this can get tangled. If it's in the yarn ball, it's better. So And by the way, this yarn I picked up in Mexico. I like to travel a lot, of course. People who know me know that part. And while traveling, I go on a major search for yarn, and I call it Rocky, which is rare, outrageously colored yarn. And so something like this I wouldn't have found in the States. I mean, this is kind of from the same batch. I got this in Topeka, Mexico. But you and I are going to be doing yarn balls. I'm going to show you how today. So you found the beginning already. And so now you're going to wrap on what will be your strong hand, right? And you're going to wrap 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So then you're going to remove it from your hand and hold the loop. And you're going to wrap in the middle about 5 times again. So you're making almost like a bow tie. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then you're going to fold those 2 ends over and kind of begin to wrap as if you're making a ball. Oh, wow. Okay. And just keep on rolling. And while we are doing this, we are going to get a little bit into your business.
Okay.
Just because, the first segment was more so about like the foundation of your work that you're doing. Now we're going to talk about, now you're here in the Bay Area, what's next for you? Are you going to be, expanding your concept for your t-shirts? You're doing cancer, or, with the Me Too movement, with any of the movements that are going on, or do you have any of those kind of like things that you're thinking about doing potentially?
We'll see. Only because I feel like fast fashion has taken that and just kind of ran with it, and it would have to be something that just is outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
And with any of those causes, I definitely am not doing this for the sake of fast fashion. I would have to donate to some type of cause or charity or person.
Right.
Because I feel like that's important.
Okay. And if people are looking to find more information about you and your brand, how can they do so?
Well, we are on all social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, of course, Instagram, under Tailored Rebels. So it's TAILORED Rebels, REBELS. So.
You're pretty good at concentrating too. Okay, and also while you're doing this, you want to kind of like
move it around.
Move around, yeah. So you don't
so it's
get
an
something
ball.
lopsided, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, unless that's your way. I mean, this is kind of like a reflection of life, really.
Okay.
Kind of wrapping everything.
So you just wrap it 5 times.
Well, no, yeah. When we start, we wrap 5 times. Now we're wrapping
just.
Yeah, until you're done with it.
Okay.
Large yarn ball. So
okay.
Yeah. So being from DC again and coming here, how's this transition of coming into the Bay Area?
It's a culture shock.
Yeah?
Because DC is very type A people.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming here, it's like everyone is just puffing in the clouds, literally, and let's go to the beach. So it's a lot different for me.
Yeah.
The culture shock, too, I guess, was with seeing how many homeless people are in this area compared to the DC area.
Mm-hmm.
I work in the Tenderloin, so I see people openly doing drugs and selling drugs. And I'm just like, I've never seen this before. I mean, I've only been here about 13 months.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely just like, wow. At first it was just, my heart was heavy. It's still heavy for the level of homelessness because I feel like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
But just the amount of addicts, or drug addicts rather.
That you actually get to see versus those that are hidden.
Right. Yeah. Because in DC, you don't really see that. Like, that somebody is probably mentally ill or something like that. But just to literally walk down the street and someone is shooting up somewhere in their body, it's a lot more open.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you are also in the Tenderloin, so that is just like, that is the haven of it. And, San Francisco is a sanctuary city, so there's a lot of political things going on here. Even though, like, you're coming from D.C. and it's a political town, like, there's a lot of politics that have to do with social.
Right.
So one of the reasons why I asked you that question about the different movements or even just social things that are going on, like, there's a lot of disparities that are seen here. And,
right.
Wondering, if it's something that's motivating the next line, next collection, like, I'm trying to get in your business, girl, and figure out what's going on with this brand, see if I need to be getting some of these tailored Rebel t-shirts.
Yes, of course.
So, I'm just trying to see, you're talking about maybe, we need to know, the people need to know what's going on with Tailored Rebel, correct? Right. So let's get a little bit into your beauty regimen.
So my beauty regimen is very basic. I think that sometimes people just go overboard with product and then you just really don't know what's working and what's not working.
So what's some of the things what are your go-to? So let's start with skin first, your skin regimen.
So with my skin, I do the Aztec bentonite clay mask. I do that. I try to do that at least like once a month.
Yeah.
I use, there's a witch hazel that I use that's, Thayer's.
Thayer's? Yeah. Yes. Which one do you use? I have the Thayer's lavender.
I use the unscented because my skin is just like, no, I don't like that. It's almost everything. So I've also just started using, which I actually like, I just started using it's called DHC, or that's the brand, but like a cleansing oil, which I like because I feel like it's just kind of taking everything that might be in your pores, even though I'm not a foundation, concealer, over the top makeup wear. I think just being out in the air and being on BART and all those different places, your skin just collects different things.
Right, that's true.
So I find that has helped. And I also use SkinCeuticals. I use their gentle cleanser. It's not really a foaming, so that is something to get used to.
Right.
But I use that. I use my toner, and then I use just some Aveeno SPF.
Gotcha. And then
that's important.
And then lip pop is what?
Bite. I love the Bite brand. Their lip agave. It's a natural, but it's great for a base when you're wearing any type of lipstick. You don't have to keep reapplying. It is a little on the pricier side, but it's one of those things like once you have it, it lasts and you just want to keep buying it.
Okay, well, cool. So we have to take another break, and you heard it from her. She uses Bite agave, so check it out. And we'll be back with you. Again, I'm your pilot, S.LadyBug, and I look forward for you coming back. Thank you for supporting FlyGirls. We promote sustainable fashion designers and artisans around the globe. Would you like to increase your awareness and expand your reach? Addiction can help. Sign up for the supplier directory today. Embrace your dopeness. And we are back with FlyGirls. And again, we're co-piloting it up. We still have these yarn balls in our hand. But I wanted to take a little time to allow our co-pilot here, Toni Lang, to give you again her information. So if you're interested in following her brand, supporting her brand, and just encouraging her work that she does, she is going to tell you all about it now. So now will be the time where you can tell us about your mission with, Taylor Rebels, and, let the people know what they need to know.
So with our brand, it's just, it's for creatives. It's for people that are outside of the box. Yes, we could say that we're geared towards skaters, but that's not true because we have tweens and more of the seasoned people that are wearing our brand. It's just all about positivity, just making you go forward in whatever you're doing. Whether you're doing your entrepreneurship, whether you're working your 9 to 5, just stay as positive as possible. We have enough stuff in the world that's just kind of throwing nonsense your way. So we like to embrace and embody and encompass all things positive. So if you walk by and you see something like one of our shirts says thoughts become things, that's true. You know that you're manifesting something. And sometimes you just need that reminder of like, what, I was thinking something bad and then something happened. So that's us. Our mission is just to be dope and different. Stand out, carve your own lane. You don't need to follow anybody.
Yeah,
don't be a follower. Always be a leader. I know that, sometimes people everybody wants to be a chief and nobody wants to be an Indian, but that's not really the case here. It's just, let's go ahead and just do this leadership thing. Because we need more brown women. We need more women, period, that are in leadership roles.
And we also need to hear the encouraging words. We also need to see examples because as much as people say, follow your dreams and, do the things that you want to do that make you happy, there's not any kind of like level of checklist of this is what you need to do to make it happen. Right. So just quickly let us know your IG and your
all of our social media is Taylor Rebels. Facebook, Taylor Rebels. Twitter, Taylor Rebels. Instagram, Taylor Rebels. We're even on Pinterest under Taylor Rebels. So if you need some fashion inspo or anything like that, we are your go-to. We style our t-shirts different. You don't have to just wear it with jeans and just throw on a t-shirt and run to the store.
Right.
Like today, I'm wearing my Taylor Rebels t-shirt with a white Oxford and a denim jacket and a skirt. So just find us, Tailored Rebels.
Well, there you have it. You have Tailored Rebels. And before we get out of here, I actually made something for you from Yarn Movement, and I would like to give that to you right now before we go out. Because I know you like hip hop, so I made you some crochet door knockers.
Oh my gosh, and that's my favorite color.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
Oh, shoot. Well, there you have it. Thank you so much for coming today. Tailored Rebels, co-piloting it all day with Taylor Lane, and I am your pilot, S.LadyBug, and be sure to check out your next episode of FlyGirls, and until then, I'm signing off.